You started a business at 16? Well, technically, I started a business when I was 14. Let me tell you something. Part 1. I was in 9th grade, right in the beginning, right when I stepped in those high school doors. It was a pain, to say the least. I hated the fact that I only had 4 years left, and the person that told me this story was my father. My father said to me, "You have 4 years to make it right. You need to figure out what you need to do with your life. You need to figure out what's going to make you happy for the rest of your life, and you choose that passion. You need to choose that passion, because you're going to live with that job or career or life you're going to have for X amount of years, and that's more than your high school career, middle school. Everything that you've done so far is nothing compared to what you're going to do for the rest of your life." Now, I became the CEO, the COO, the ABCDEFG of my own clothing brand. And I wouldn't have figured that out if I didn't find this Facebook reel. Now, one day, my dad sent me this Facebook reel out of, spontaneousness, and I looked at this reel, and it was this guy. He was so energetic. He was like, "Yo, this is the best way you're gonna make side hustle money with putting little to no effort and making lots and lots of cash." Now, I said to myself, hey, I don't want to, put a lot of effort, and I want to make a lot of money. Let's be real. Like, we all, want to make a good amount of money and put a little effort. That's like, getting a bang for your buck. And, who wouldn't want to turn down that deal? So I, as a freshman, was like, you know what? Let me try that out. So then I tried it out. I tried doing this side hustle. And guess what this side hustle was? It was basically POD. Remember that. What does POD stand for? Print on demand. That's what it stands for. And what I was looking at was this website called Printify. And basically, Printify was a POD services website. And what I did in order to make this side hustle work was I make a design, I draw something or, edit something, Photoshop it, whatever, right? Make a cool little tiny design. And then I integrate it into Etsy. And Etsy would sell it. And basically, I was the middleman that just connected the two lines together. And then I just took whatever profits I made from that. So basically, I would get the product and it would go straight to Etsy and it would ship and it would do everything by itself, and I had to do absolutely nothing. All I had to do was just make the brand name, make the ads, make the whatever else that's in between that didn't have to do with anything about manufacturing and understanding costs. I just told Etsy I wanted to make a $5 profit for every sale, and that's what happened. Well, in order for me to start this brand or this business as a clothing brand, as a side hustle, like the guy said earlier, I had to think of a name. Now, what name was I trying to start with? Because it was just, because I wanted to talk about my start. This is the beginning of something new. I've never done this before. My start. It's my humble start. The humble start. That was the beginning, and that was the creation of the name, The Humble Start. Now, I had to register that name. I had to put that down. I didn't want anybody to take that name because honestly, I love that name so much. It represents everything about me. I don't want nobody to take it away from me. So I trademarked the name. It's filed. Everything's done. I had to trademark that name. And it took me a year to get that done because honestly, trademarks cost a lot of money. Let's be honest. It did cost a lot of money. So I had to save up a lot for that one. And I also had the help of my parents to afford some of that cash to get the trademark penned through. And that was probably the best thing I could have ever done because now I feel secure and I feel ready for anything that ever happened to me. Legal-wise, we're all good. We're all in the clear. Now, what else we got to talk about? The designs. I had to create some designs. So I sketched up some designs on my drawing tablet. I had I had a little bit of expertise in drawing and doing some skills with just being an art or just artist in general, because I had a YouTube channel prior to this called Doodle DG and Doodle 2G, which had like time-lapse drawings of me drawing some famous artists, and I was doing some YouTube animation back in the day, like in COVID years. That was what I really did during COVID, when I was, just bored out of my mind and I needed to do something to just escape all the problems that was going on in the world. I used that as my escape. And guess what? Those skills came in handy. And I was blessed to just be able to draw some cool designs. And it's like very different because like it's all hand drawn. It's not Photoshop. It's not like, there's like an element of fakeness. It's just drawing, and it just has a message in every single drawing. I've made some low quality effort shorts or TikToks, whatever you call it, on a YouTube channel and then on a TikTok. And I wanted to see maybe if I spread the word around, maybe in my high school, I could get some sales. But guess what? People weren't buying into it. Because why? The price was a little bit too high for a brand they don't recognize. So I had to make this brand recognizable. So I started spreading the word out more, trying to be more of a credible source because, they know me. If I'm somebody that's relatable because I'm in their high school, they know me. So I tried talking to others. I was trying to do a lot of marketing. I was talking to my people. But as a freshman, I only knew so much. And guess what? I made my first sale. I'm so proud of myself. I made that first sale. As a ninth grader that made money online, the feeling is just, you'll never know that feeling, and that just, it's hard to explain because when you feel something that's just you really accomplished something and you did this by yourself, obviously I had the help with my friends, family, but to get that first sale online, there's no feeling like that. So when I got that first sale, I was over the moon. But then I look at the profit margins. $5. Hey, I got my $5. $5, $10. But what I didn't know is I saw that it said, okay, well, basically somebody bought two things, right? And I was selling expensive stuff. I was selling my stuff for $40, for a shirt. I'm like, $40 shirt? Whoa, that's a lot of money, man. Or a $40 hoodie. It was $30. I don't even know. It was a lot of money back then. I was selling it for a lot, but I was getting little out of it. And I was putting lots and lots of effort into it. But then I made another sale. And then another sale. And then guess what? Every time I made a sale, I would get charged with something called fees. What the hell is that? What is fees? And then I was like, oh my gosh, why am I getting charged for all this stuff? So then Etsy, right? Let me tell you something that I didn't figure out until, after I got into the business. Printify takes their cut from production, management, right? So the production of the hoodie or the shirt, whatever I was selling, they took a share out of that. And then Etsy took their own share fees, right? Which was 2.7%, 2.9%, plus 30 cents or something like that. And that racks up. That definitely takes a lot of money out of me. And for me, with the production being so high and the Etsy wanting to take 2.7% of my whatever I got, basically I was the middleman that was just picking up all the leftover coins that they dropped on the floor. And I was like, dude, the more sales I made, you could check on Etsy. If you go to the Thehumblstart on Etsy, it'll say I made 5 sales in total. And every single time I made a sale, I would only lose more and more profits. So now I was basically making on my last sale, you want to know how much I made? Do you want to know how much I made? I made 3 cents in profits. 3 cents. I don't even know what to say anymore. I was so furious. I got upset because, I was like, where is my $5 going? Where is it going? My profits, I told the Etsy to give me at least $5 in the profit margins, and it did not do that. It did it first, but then all of a sudden it started taking more and more of my sales profit margins, and that sucked. Not anymore. I'm not going to let that happen anymore. At around, during spring break of 2023, this is around 2023, everything was going on. I had to say, that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I cut the Thehumblstart and I stopped it. I took a break from the Thehumblstart. I spent my summer just relaxing, thinking of what I need to do. I also had a little bit of another side business. I started doing affiliate marketing on Amazon Associates. It was nice. It was a pretty cool job to do. I didn't make any money off it because I was just like trying to do some like really low budget crappy ads on Pinterest, just putting a picture that somebody else had like on Google Images, put it on a Pinterest ad, then put the affiliate link and say, go check out these Uggs, they're very, very cool. I was just doing the trends that people were doing, like the things that everybody wore. Like people wore Uggs, people wore pajamas. I was like, okay, why don't we just, feed the trend and go and let's live it. Let's live up life, But that didn't work. And also because my Amazon Associates account was so offline for so long, it just kicked me out. It fired me pretty much automatically. I was like, whoa, what's going on over here? But yeah, I had two side businesses, and then I had to stop it. But then I took a few month break over the summer, and I started thinking. I was like, okay, what do I gotta do to fix this and make it right? Because honestly, I love this brand. My brand name was called Thehumblstart. It's Thehumblstart. And when I keep saying it's Thehumblstart, we never stop and we never end because it keeps starting. This is just the beginning. And I always keep saying that this is just the beginning because we're just only going to keep going up from here. It only goes up from here. That's the slogan I created. It only goes up from here. So then I started designing more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. And then I created something called First Edition. Now, if you're one of the 5 sales that I made from Etsy, you are a owner of a very, very rare edition called 0th edition. When I created these 19 extra designs, we called it First Edition. And these were, unpublished, but they were custom. I was doing custom designs. And then I had to save up some money from my side job. I have another side job, which is me being a martial arts instructor because I am a martial artist. And I was doing private lessons, coaching, helping classes, teaching a whole bunch of kids how to self-defend themselves. And I was making money, and I put that money to the side and saved it up for my first heat press. My very first heat press. And I used that heat press to take the prints, right? These are something that you got to understand. So in order to make clothes, you have prints. So it's like these pieces of paper. It's like in this like very, very plastic like type of material with the design on like with a special ink kind of coating. And then you take that piece of paper and you take the clothing, you press it together, heat press it in like 300 degree Fahrenheit. This is in Fahrenheit. Degree print, and then after that you get a beautiful product. Now I had to get a heat press in order to get 1 and 2 together. And what about the prints? Where do I get these prints from? Well, I got my prints from a very, very special place called DTF Prints. Like it was like some website. This was my first website. It was DTF Prints. It was like a gang sheet, DTF Print gang sheet something. The website was called. And it was a very, very cool website. And I got it, and then I took it, and then I took the clothes from another supplier, manufacturer, and then from different websites. I had to do a lot of research to find, blank apparel. Then I had to go find some DTF prints. DTF prints, those are the prints that I'm using. Those are heat transfers. And then I took 2 and 2 together. Bam! We made beautiful products. Part 2. We're in 10th grade now. It's getting serious. We got 2 more years left. Now, this is when things get exciting, because this is when the HumbleStart goes up. We did something that was crazy, in my opinion, which was buying this expensive heat press. It was like $150, and I was like, oh man, I gotta do whatever I can to save up for this money. And then I bought it, and I was so proud of myself that I bought a machine, and then I use that machine every day. I still have it to this day. I bought it, and then I started using it. I got the prints, I got the clothes, I started making more sales, but it was word of mouth. I didn't have a website. I used a free website. You can still check it out. The website's still there, thehumblstart.car.co. That's the old website. But now we have a new website, and you can check it out in the link in the description if you are very interested in this clothing brand. But enough of that. I'm not going to advertise you. I'm not going to shove things down your throat saying, check this out, check this out, check this out. I'm going to just let you know that it's there if you want to check it out. But again, onto our story. We had to make a free website because, I was on a budget. I'm just like trying to make it where I'm trying to make the brand with using as little money as possible. But we obviously know, right, the quote, it takes money to make money. We already know about that. But I was trying to save $1 so then I can use it for other things, like buying the clothes and then selling to other people and then trying to make ads and stuff like that. So that's what I did. I was starting to have like a little bit of a business going on. I was selling clothes in school. I had my clothes in my locker, and I was like going flipping like this to people. And I'm like, hey, you want this? You want this? I lowered my prices too, because on Etsy it was a little bit too high. I was lowering. I did like a $5 deduction, or like I did a $10 deduction, not $5, and that was like huge for me. I was like, bro, we making bank over here, and I was making better profits with lowering the prices even, because I started doing everything by myself. I didn't let Etsy do nothing for me. I didn't let Printify do nothing for me. I got better prices for the products and the manufacturing, and because I was the manufacturer and I was the shipper. So I was making better profit. And then this is what blew it up. Manalapan Day of 2024. This was the place, the recreational center of Manalapan in New Jersey, and this was the place that I did to open up the HumbleStart as a physical shop, a pop-up shop actually. And I started working endlessly, tirelessly. Every single day I was working to the bone, putting out videos, explaining every single design that is first edition, because I published 8 designs out of the 19 designs. We had 19 in total, but I said, I'm going to pick these 8 because I like these 8 the most. So after that, I bought in bulk a whole bunch of prints and a whole bunch of clothes, and I had to buy a lot of supplies for the tents, the stamp, the bags, everything you could possibly think of to make a pop-up shop. We bought it, and it worked out pretty nicely because we got to go out, we got to have our own physical shop, but then we faced a problem with overproducing. We produced so much in a surplus that it became a problem. So that's why we even still have a surplus. We have a lot of products left, and we have all of our clothes just in our supply chain store right here in my studio. This is my studio right here, and I'm keeping all my clothes in here, and I'm going to sell all these clothes because this is the HumbleStart, and it only goes up from here. So we did all these things to make this clothing brand happen. As a 14-year-old that didn't know anything about opening a shop, creating a brand, creating a business, doing everything that has to do with, talking to people, being a social person, I wasn't really that social. I became more social because of this business. This business made me more stronger, physically actually too. Even if you think like mentally, you think like you'd be strong, physically I became stronger. I became a better person. I had my values, my beliefs change. I became, in general, a better person. And I have nothing else to thank but this clothing brand. This clothing brand has taught me so many valuable lessons. And to anyone watching out there that wants to create something or create actually a business, do it. If you know nothing about it, do it. The first thing you need to do is you need to dip your toes into this industry that you want to get yourself into. And we all know that clothing brands is a very, very oversaturated business. We know that there's a whole bunch of clothing brands. We know that there's a whole bunch of little local clothing brands. But if you want to take it so you could become the biggest and the best out of all those clothing brands or out of all those businesses, you got to start right now. And you got to start thinking of a niche that's not been tapped into. You got to start something different that nobody else thought of. Because you are destined and you are here to make a difference. And you want to do that because that's your calling. You have a calling. I have a calling that I wanted to create something like this. Self-improvement. Because you know why? I felt like as a person, I wasn't improving my life as a middle schooler or a high schooler. In 9th grade, I was just, that typical kid that was just trying to fit in, trying to be with the cool kids. But is it really cool if you're just lazy? Is it really cool if you're doing absolutely nothing with your life? That's not cool. You need to find your passion. You need to find your purpose. I found a purpose. You find yours now. Link in the description. Check out everything. The humblstart.store now. It's not .com, .co. .car.co. The humblstart.store. It only goes up from here. I'll see you later.